Hey everybody, Wheelchair Gunfighter here. So I want to talk about a product from a group with which we're associated. The group being Skallywag Tactical. If you don't know who they are, check them out online. They make a really awesome self-defense and deployment-ready combat dagger. What I want to talk about is their training version, the training version of their dagger. And you see it resembles other daggers on the market with the finger loop. Kind of a double-edged design. It's purely a stabbing device. The actual version of the knife has no edge on it pretty much whatsoever. It's like a 40-degree angle. It's not really a slicing edge, just a sticking tool. But what I want to talk about is this is designed as a training dagger, a lightweight aluminum version of the real knife so that you can practice techniques and what have you with something that's not going to accidentally stick your partner. What I want to talk about is considering using things like this as actual self-defense tools. And where the idea came from this is that I stuck this loop on my quick detach keychain, and I was using it kind of just to have with me so I didn't forget it coming into a training environment. So I came into, I wouldn't forget I have to run back to my car to get my training dagger. So it started out as a way of keeping accountability of my trainer, and what it became as playing around in kind of a training environment, I realized I could quickly pick it up and it was right there to use. And you can see that with any hardened piece of metal attached to your hand, it's going to enhance strike capability, and that's what I'm going to kind of talk about. We already have the Kubaton, the little self-defense devices that we attach to our keychain, so this is kind of what I'm getting at. This is kind of in that genre. Because what I would do is take this thing and attach it to my keychain. And then what I'd do is I'd tuck the dagger kind of into my waistline, just kind of hold on to my keys. If I'm not going to be out for very long, sticking the keys in my pocket is tucked into my waistline. So it was kind of, the keys are hanging out of my waistline like that, where this is anchoring it. And what this allows, by doing that, is a place for me to quickly find this loop, pull this out, and I have a combination of a flail with my keys and a jabbing device with the dagger itself, or an enhanced strike position with the back of the loop of the dagger, which is what it was designed for, is my understanding, is to enhance up to 2 fingers inside of a punch, and that enhances the strike surface of those fingers. And then you have this as kind of a stick, so it's still pointy enough that if you were to jab this into soft tissue, it would go in. This would work as a penetrating device if you applied a full-on hammer blow to a soft target like behind the collarbones or to the throat area. This would penetrate, albeit very painfully. So think of this as a strike enhancer is the idea. And I'm not one of those people who tries to say, it's flail with the keys or try to throw your keys away. Flailing with the keys can be a pretty effective thing if you're targeting the eyes. We target the eyes a lot here in what we do, because there's a lot of psychological stuff attached to the eyes, but also if your opponent can't see, he can't continue to attack you. And at best, you get a mechanical effect of lifting the head back and exposing other vital areas that you can continue to attack until your attacker is no longer a threat. So flailing the keys at the eyes can be enough to cause a reaction to where you can get in with a better strike into the throat area or behind the collarbones or what have you. So this is just a consideration. It's a possible substitute for the Kubaton-like keychain attachments that we carry around. So I'll throw out some ideas where you can potentially attack, and just kind of demo what this looks like a little. Okay, so this is just to illustrate how I was talking about wearing the dagger. So you have your keys, the dagger's attached, and I would just kind of tuck this in my waistline, right? So if I wanted to draw this as a weapon, I just find the loop, get up underneath the keys, and now I have the dagger ready to go. And maybe the flail. You could even grab the keys if you know, it wouldn't really change the dynamic of using the dagger, it just has more getting in the way. Right, so that's kind of how I've been using the thing, is kind of just tucked away like that. So it's pretty quick to find. You just find your keys, stick a thumb or a finger inside the loop and pull it out. And you can at worst get a grip like this, kind of aiming for a grip like this or like this, where you have the ring above the finger to do enhanced strike damage this way. Okay, so with this kind of thing, since it's not primarily a penetrating tool, your targets are going to be softer areas of the head and neck area. So another, you know, you're talking about the thyroid complex in here. You're talking about the collar, you know, behind the collarbones, even attacking the collarbones. You're talking about a hard piece of aluminum, so potentially breaking the collarbone. Again, the eyes, a flail with the eyes. You could attack the eyes directly with a dagger, but our primary targets are here at the eyes. This sort of the soft tissue area in here from the upper lip up to between the eyes for good transmission of blunt force trauma into the brain. The throat, for all kinds of reasons. You have blood flow down here on the sides. You have, you know, obviously airflow. This can be potentially lethal striking area, depending on where you strike. But you're going to get some good stuff striking in here as a general rule if you don't know much else. Another good place are various places on the inside of the arm for limb destruction. If that's all you have out an extended range because you're in a wheelchair and you can't get in immediately to change the spacing relationship in the middle of attack. If I'm way out here on the receiving end, then I can attack the soft tissue on the inside of the arm, wherever the tendons meet at the joint, right? So at the wrist. This would be a good target for a knife, but not really so much with something like this. But you know, solid blunt force shots wherever wherever muscles meet the joint is going to give you something. It's going to give you a deadening effect of that limb, and their ability, lessen their ability to grip a weapon or form their hand into a fist to act as a strike. So, the way this would kind of look if Will took a swing at me. When I noticed an aggressive posture, I'd kind of go to my knife, and as it comes in, I could attack the limb, right? I could come up and attack into the limb as I slip, and then I can come into, you know, other targets which we didn't mention in the ribs and such like that. But all the ribs are going to be relatively vulnerable against something like a hard piece of aluminum, right? So maybe he comes in for a grab to pull me out of the wheelchair. And I can attack either directly into the throat area. So I'm going to turn it at an angle here. So I can attack at the throat area to create distance, maybe stop him from pulling back, right, for getting a deeper good throw. Or if he's already into the pull, I can follow him in. And changing how he's pulling back, I can change his balance and end up landing on top of him rather than him pulling me down and then landing on top of me. So there's a lot of ways you can do this. If he's coming at a distance and coming up on me, this is where this flail thing comes at, so I can get an eye flick, right, and then I have exposure to softer tissues, or the soft tissue beneath the chin, right? So obviously this type of weapon is only going to be a sort of an enhancement. It's not going to be a go-to weapon. This sort of thing is handy because as you go to your car, it's something that can be already in your hand. So it's not something that you're fumbling for. It's not something you're clearing clothing to bring into the fight or anything like that. It's something that's readily available. It's already in your hand. The thing that's going to be the quickest to deploy is going to be the thing that you're probably going to go to most often. It's going to be the easiest to go to. So that's just my thoughts on this. This is obviously, its intended purpose is a training tool. It's not marketed as a self-defense device, and it's not built for anything like that. It's aluminum, but it's very, very stiff. I've had some aluminum trainers that were very easy to bend. I'm not getting this out of this. I assume it's been hardened because this isn't pure aluminum. It's very hard to misshape. but it's not marketed as a self-defense tool. It's not designed to be that. This is just my opinion for stuff like this. I'm not a big fan of like Kubotan design sort of stuff because you can't do much with them. But because this has the finger loop, which makes it easy to draw, it has a more of a sharpened point. It's pointier. It's going to deliver a lot more energy than say something flat like a Kubotan. So that's just my opinion. You know, I promised my buddies over at Skallywag Tactical I'd give my thoughts on it. I really think this is a viable idea, so you take it for what it's worth. As per usual, leave me any comments, criticism.